I love you. Hey, guess what, Couch Potatoes? You know, not only are we happy to see you return to the couch with us today, we're also happy to see Paul Walker and Vin Diesel return to the couch with us today. Not in person, but, you know, in spirit.
In critiqued spirit.
Well, but thank you all for joining us. As always, I am the Green Traveler from Gorsh.
And I am the Faceless Leon. And we're talking about Fast ampersand Furious.
That's correct.
And
Fast ampersand Furious. I still don't... I think I have to hold off at least one more episode before just completely going off on the naming scheme. But, like... All they did with number 4 was they removed, what are they, the articles,
Yeah.
Or are they
the
linking
articles,
verbs?
Yeah. That's exactly
they just removed the...
Yeah.
I'm a writer, but I don't understand composition of anything, so it's like, there's a reason I'm not published. But yeah, they just removed the articles of the first movie. It was The Fast and The Furious.
Yeah.
And now it's just Fast ampersand Furious. Yeah. They could have done For the Fast and the Furious. You know, like something.
Yeah, that's what we were expecting. I remember speculating on what it was going to be, because we heard about the project.
Wait, was I guess, no, we didn't know each other by 2009, but no, I was not at all into the franchise, so I was not speculating anything. I was just like, maybe they're done.
I'll have to be honest, I was not into the franchise either, but the people I was hanging out with, they mentioned that there was another one coming out, and I think... So they were kind of into it, and I was always kind of the guy that was like, okay, yeah, car movie, sure.
Sure, yes.
But
and then they were like, but boobies. And they were like,
that too, yes. Yes, that honest goodness was what kept me in, and that's just too bad. I also actually have a very sad story about this particular movie.
Oh no!
I will leave him anonymous, but a friend of mine who was an exchange student at our school, he was leaving, and as a parting gift, he gave me this movie, and he said, "I had a really good time hanging out with you this past year," and all that stuff, and it was really nice of him. I don't know what was wrong with me though, because I was like, dude, you really like this movie?
Oh,
I know.
you pulled a move straight out of my book.
I saw how much I hurt him by saying that, you know, and I was immediately really sorry, and I still am very sorry about that. I'm sorry, friend out there.
Where I'm at is like, I don't question people liking things. It makes me happy that people can enjoy liking something that I find to be like stupid. And so, like, people talking and loving on Fast and the Furious, before I really got into it, I was totally just like, okay, I'm glad you guys like it. It is not for me.
Sure.
And along with that, there was obvious judgment from me. You know, I was clearly just like, okay, yes, that's funny that you like this movie. It's not for me. But like, it does make me happy that people can like things. You should always be able to like things. But returning to it after... I don't know. I mean, I watched this like 6 years ago for like the second time, but like I watched it with my brother when it came out, not in the movie theaters, but when it came out to DVD, we finally watched it or something. And I totally just hated this movie. I was just like, oh, this is stupid. I don't know why you like this. And then when I rewatched it like 6 years ago, and I was like, oh, I think I really like this.
Yeah, it was a prejudice moment of the film.
Yeah.
Because I actually had never seen the film. And I still said that. And like, yeah, you'll attest to this. I definitely try not to yuck people's yum in any sense of the word, because, and this is one of the moments that really made me like be like, oh shit, I'm secretly an asshole, aren't I?
But see, that's the difference between us, is I just know I'm an asshole, and like I don't want to be an asshole, but I don't also try to stop myself from being an asshole. It just comes out, and I'm just like, oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Well, I have to say, because I did watch it, and I like it. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's really goofy, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, watching it this time confirmed that I do like this movie. And I think, it's... So the joke I made to you when we watched it was it's not a reboot, because it definitely feels like a reboot. It's like, okay, things were going downhill. It's like 1 was good, 2 was good, 3 was like, what? Why did we do this? This is weird.
Who are these people?
Yeah, number 4 comes back, 3 or 4 years later? Like, number 3 had essentially killed the franchise.
Right.
But 3 or 4 years later, they get Paul Walker back, they get Vin Diesel back, Justin Lin comes back from the 3rd one. He proved that he was a good director in the 3rd one. It's just, It's a nonsense film. But he comes back with this one, and they get Chris Morgan back too. Chris Morgan's the writer. But I was real happy. Everybody coming back for this film, one, again, they kind of just understand by this point that it's just nonsense. It's just a car film. It's like we don't have to be great. We could just be action crazy and have a lot of fun. And they're starting to understand that with this film. But what's this film really has going for it is the actors just kind of finally just understand their character, specifically Paul Walker.
Yeah.
I feel like he's known his character for the 1st and 2nd movie, but this one he finally gets his characters in relation to the law.
Yeah.
And because what I've been always bitching about is he doesn't feel like a cop. I don't get it. He doesn't feel like a cop at all in the 1st movie. And in the 2nd one, when they talk about it, it's like, yeah, you're more of a criminal than a cop. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
And now with this one, he's back to being a cop.
Which is weird.
But it makes sense. But it makes sense because when they introduce him, he's that action hero cop. He's running, chasing a guy down in an alleyway, doing the illegal thing of tackling him and putting a gun to his face and yelling for a name. You watch that and it's it's straight out of a law show, and you're just like, yeah, Paul Walker, fuck yeah.
It's the new haircut, dude. It's kind of really hard to take the frosted tips seriously.
Right, that's so true. It really might be. It really might be and the suit. He was in a suit also.
Yes, also that. Yeah. He did look much more professional and clean cut.
He also planted drug evidence, so it all just fit. It just made sense.
Yeah, he does kind of abuse his power a little bit, but, this is a revenge story, okay? So I feel like we're kind of doing the plot a little bit, but there's a revenge plot here because, I'll say, should I say one of the beloved characters, or should I say who it is?
It's so hard because it's I don't want to spoil things, but I don't know. It happens early in the film. I think it's fine to spoil.
Okay, all right. Early movie spoiler. Letty, played by Michelle Rodriguez, is killed.
Yes.
I honestly am kind of blanking on exactly what killed her.
She was in a car accident.
Yes.
And then Vin Diesel goes to the scene of the crash, and you get this new trait of Vin Diesel's, which he is basically Sherlock Holmes of car crashes.
Yes.
It's he goes there, and it's in the dead of night. There's no light anywhere. There's light from a street lamp, but he's able to see powder marks in the ground and be like, oh, that's from this very specific type of combustion being burnt from such and such oil, and only one driver has such and such car. Oh, it was amazing.
It's nitrous methane, I think, or nitromethane, maybe.
So Nawsome.
Yeah.
But yes, Letty dies, and Paul Walker, as a cop, he is invested. For reasons that you find out later in the film. But obviously she was also a friend of his, even though he was kind of just playing the whole Toretto family in the first movie. He felt attached to them, more so than he did to his fellow policemen. He fit in with Toretto, whereas with the policemen, he doesn't fit in. He feels like he's lost a friend, which he has, obviously. And so he comes into the situation to try to get at who killed her, I guess. There's a little more to it than that, but that's basically both his and Vin Diesel's focus is they want to find who killed Letty and they want to bring it to an end.
Right.
And behind it all, there's some big guy. I didn't write his name down. Who's the bad guy in this?
He moves heroin. I can't remember his name, and I just watched.
I want to say Borgia.
Days ago.
I want to say Borgia, but it's not Borgia.
It's something like that. Braga. Yes.
Yeah, we shouldn't say who plays Braga because that's the big mystery of the whole movie is, nobody knows who Braga is. Not many people have seen his face. Paul Walker working for the police he's not working for the police.
He's
working
FBI.
for
he's an actual
FBI.
Agent.
Yeah. And he's trying to bring Braga down. Big bad, selling a lot of drugs and doing some bad shit, I guess.
Yeah.
Same plot as the first movie.
Yeah, except for, he doesn't become his best friend.
Exactly, yeah. and Toretto, he's involved, of course, trying to also bring Braga down, but more so the Letty thing. He really just wants to know who killed Letty, and if he can bring Braga down at the same time, he sends a message, that's fine and dandy. And so, they go undercover. Yeah. Just like the first film.
Just like the first two movies.
Yeah, exactly. It is the first two. It's not just the first film. It's the first two. They literally took all of the good plot lines from the previous 3 films and just casually cut and pasted everything here. Right. And for the most part, I would be like, "Damn, that's lazy. You guys are stupid. That's shit." No, it works for this movie. Yeah. It's finally starting to feel like Fast and Furious. That that gets me excited.
Like you said this in the previous reviews, I'm pretty sure, or you said it to me. This is where it starts getting so ridiculous that you're like, oh, yeah, this is cool.
Exactly. It's like, oh, yeah, this isn't realistic at all. I should just disassociate myself from reality.
Yeah.
Turn my brain off completely. This is the movie where it's like, there's so many people who can go out and watch, I don't want to say bland movies, but movies like this where it's just turn your brain off and have fun.
Right.
And there's a lot of movies out there that are like that are just not good. I just can't turn my brain off and just enjoy it. This is where the Fast and Furious franchise just gets that correct. Yeah. They nail it so well that you're just like, all right, the dialogue's shit. The actors obviously know it's shit, but they're still having fun delivering all of this garbage.
Yeah.
And my brain's off. I'm focusing. I'm not focusing. I'm just going. Yeah. I'm just drifting along with them.
Yeah.
I am fast & furious alongside them. And it's a lot of fun. The opening scene is when you just know that it's going to be absolutely batshit ridiculous. Yeah. And it's they're doing the exact same fucking heist they did in the first movie. Vin Diesel and his crew are chasing down a semi and are going to steal some shit from it. Oh, how exciting.
What is his, newspaper name? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, in that first movie and with this heist, I don't know, the semi-racer, the
semi-racer.
The semi-eraser.
Ooh, yeah, because he does take shit from him. Exactly. Yeah. I like that. That's good. Journalist. Faceless. The faceless journalist.
Oh.
There's a lot of those, though. Let's be honest.
That's true. Question.
But in that first scene, though, I won't give away everything that happens. But let's just say there is a moment where there is a flipping vehicle that is exploding at the same time, and it is coming downhill towards Dom and Letty, who is alive at this point in the film at the very beginning. Yeah. But it's coming towards him and Letty, and he's just sitting there revving his engine, but he's got the brakes on. So it's just his car's veering back and forth as he's preparing. He's looking for the right moment. And this is where you get the hint that Dom has some just genius calculating abilities where it's just there's so much shit going on in his head. We just can't figure it out. He is smarter than Einstein, man.
Yeah.
And yeah, he drives perfectly under this tumbling, exploding, vehicle.
Ridiculous.
And it's ridiculous. It
immediately
sets
the tone.
It immediately sets the tone. Your brain is immediately shut off because you're just like, okay, that's cool. But yeah, the rest of the plot basically is Dom and Paul Walker. I never understand why I can't call Paul Walker Brian. It's impossible. Dom and Brian, they become drivers for Braga to deliver illicit materials, I guess. And that's the story, is them trying to bring Braga down from the inside by becoming his drivers. Yeah. And you get a lot of fun races, high stakes races. They're not closing the streets for these races. They're speeding through traffic, real traffic. So shit's getting amped up, everybody. We're at number 4 and we're going crazy with it. And
so there's the one thing, this is the end of the movie, so I don't know if you want to jump this far ahead, but the one thing that I really want to talk about is the twist, the reveal for Braga.
The reveal of Braga. The very obvious, like, how can you not see it coming reveal?
Yeah, like, okay, so, like, I thought it was, for as ridiculous as the movie is, that it was done pretty well. Like, it was so stupid. But I loved it.
It felt like Justin Lin had just watched The Usual Suspects with Kevin Spacey. And, like, he was just like, oh, I want to do that. That would be so cool. And, like, it does add to the build-up, and it's really funny.
Yeah.
But, like, if I were taking this film seriously, oh, that would have just been such a joke. Like, but I wasn't. My brain was turned off, and when the reveal happens, it's just like, I knew it. I knew it. What are you doing? You trying to slip it past me, Chris Morgan. Like, I could see where your writing's going.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say, the part that I really enjoyed was probably mostly animated, and it was in the tunnels.
Yeah.
That shit was fun. So they got these hidden tunnels that they use to cross the border, that's what I'll say. Like, with helicopters chasing them, they go at it, like, full speed, and then they just, like, crash into it, and then all of a sudden they're in these tunnels. And as long as they follow the leader, they're going to be safe. But Jesus Christ, they're going, like, 96 miles an hour. And there's, like, beams every, like, 12 feet or so. And they're just...
And, like, in the tunnels are the exact size of the car.
Yeah.
Like, there's no room for error.
It was pretty fun. It was like, oh, they're so good at driving that they can stay inside the cones all the time, no matter the speed.
It's amazing. Yeah, there's a lot of good action in those tunnels.
Making their instructors proud.
Even there's a very good climactic action scene, I will say, that ends with Dom bursting out of the mountain. That it's again, you can see it coming a mile away, but when it happens, it's just like, fuck yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to happen. Oh, it's so good. Like it just hits all the right notes. It's just a silly movie that understands it's just a silly movie. Yeah.
So I don't know if you think this is too much of a spoiler, and you can edit this out if you think so, but when Dom decided to blow up his car, I was like, oh shit, he's blowing up his dad's car. Like,
right.
Like, he's pissed. I mean, we already knew he was pissed.
He's furious.
But, oh, you're right.
He's furious.
Excuse me.
Yeah, he wasn't fast at that point in time.
Okay. Yeah. No, he was just furious.
I guess his brain is always fast. We learned that in this movie.
Right.
But yeah, I guess it works. He was in that pivotal moment the titular character. I do like that scene though, because like at the beginning of that scene, well, it's not technically at the beginning of that scene, but the scene before it, Brian is in his car and they're about to search all the cars to make sure they're not like wired, I guess.
Yeah.
And Brian's like quickly trying to take out the FBI trace that's in there. I fucking love that scene. It's so funny. And then like what he does with it too is like
he just I thought during that scene, like, okay, there's like a lot of these guys around. How are none of them going to see him being super panicked?
Yeah. Well, he had really tinted windows.
Oh, right. I had this car for a while that had, I guess, illegally tinted windows.
Oh yeah.
Well, at the very least, I was told that by a couple of individuals in law enforcement. So I believe them. But anyhow, I didn't know when I bought them that they were illegally tinted. Yeah, I didn't buy the windows. Rather, when I bought the car, I didn't know it had. So I'm just driving to the movie theater, just doing my nerd self with Sarah's sister and our other friends. And we get pulled over. This cop, she comes up and she's like looking, really mean at first, and then I roll down the windows and she looks a little less mean. And she's like, hey, I couldn't even tell how many people were in this car. Your windows are too dark. So if his windows were that dark, he could get away with it. You're right.
Yeah. That's just that's the excuse I always gave them. It was a dark interior and he had tinted windows, but like the question I'm always like begging to ask is they have an overhead shot where they show how many henchmen are in that room and like how many of them have the devices that are like scanning for wiretaps and everything. Why are they all located on one car at a time?
Yeah.
That's terribly inefficient. Like, divide and conquer.
Yeah, all the cars they had. They're giving, but they're also, they're giving people time to wig out and kill the trackers.
And that's another thing too, is when Brian does kill the tracker, the police are just like, oh, he killed, he must have flipped. And it's like, no, cops are undercover all the fucking time. They understand that you do anything to keep yourself undercover, and that occasionally means having to kill your tracker in case somebody's searching for it.
Yeah,
like,
I could swear. It was so silly that yeah, they did this like in the other in number 2 as well. Yeah, yeah, they did the exact same bit, and
they took all the right plot lines and they didn't reboot it. They revamped it,
refreshed. They just hit the refresh button on the internet, and it's like, oh look, they updated.
Yeah, it should have been Fast and For the revamping. For the Fast and the Furious, the revamping. But I mean, I guess I don't really have much else to say about number 4 because
nothing to say about Fast and Furious.
I mean, I recommend it. This is when I'm starting to get involved. Because I actually enjoy the acting here. Paul Walker like perfectly understands his character. I think finally he's already, again, as I mentioned at the beginning, he understands who Brian is. It didn't seem like he understood who Brian the cop was.
Right.
But now he kind of seems like he understands. He knows where Brian stands in regards to, I don't feel like a cop. I want to be part of this family instead because I feel more in tune with these criminals. And Dom, he's just like, he has a revenge mission, and Vin Diesel is always great when he's angry. So that's just so much fun to watch. And they even do a good deal with Brian's romantic interest with Mia.
They bring that back.
Sorry, Eva Mendes. I guess your relationship with Brian wasn't good enough. Yeah. We're back with Mia. But I don't know. I like Jordana Brewster. Again, she does good with what she's given here. But they don't exploit her character, I think, as badly as they did in the first movie. No. She seems like she has more of a character here.
It's still very, very obviously written by a man. But she does have more of a character. You're totally right. Yeah. She has been jilted by Brian, and she shows that, but she still has feelings for him.
But she's also been kind of jilted by Dom, because one thing we didn't talk about was Dom just kind of like up and left everybody because he thought he was a danger to them.
Yeah, because he was so wanted, even though they did the exact same crimes with him. All of them.
Yeah, exactly. All the fucking time. Yeah, it's just so silly.
I guess he kept Mia out of it, but I have no idea why he thought he had to leave Letty like that. That was so silly.
It was dumb. Yeah. And it was just because he's like, he almost saw her die once, and it's just like, okay, well, she's safer with you. You're a better driver than anybody else in the world.
And she's fucking brilliant at it too. Like, what? Why didn't you just stay together?
He has foresight too. Like, we just learned this in this movie.
And they now have money. Like, they stole.
What's happening?
They stole all the gasoline.
Yeah, secretly deep down, he was just getting bored. Let's be honest. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Another character we didn't even talk about, Gal Gadot.
Oh, yeah.
She makes her appearance in the franchise. This is her first film here. And, when I was watching it 6 years ago, or maybe it wasn't, I don't remember when I watched it. When I watched it, though, was when the first Wonder Woman had just been cast.
Oh, really?
So I was rewatching Fast and Furious, and I was like, wait, is that the new Wonder Woman? And I was like, oh my god, I was shocked. I did not realize that I knew who Gal Gadot was, because I thought, I was completely just like, oh, I don't know who Gal Gadot is at all. She's really great. I like Wonder Woman. And I watched Fast and Furious. I'm like, huh, what do you know? And her character, again, very obviously written by a man. Yes. Her costumes are obviously chosen by a man. Oh my
god, some of the shots, man. Oh yeah, my fucking god.
Yeah, she's the character that gets exploited the most in this film, definitely. And it makes me sad.
I do feel like Gal Gadot is rather comfortable with her body, so...
Oh, yeah, she is.
So, like, I don't know how much she cares, but there were definitely some shots that were just to get her breast in the shot. And, and that, it was unfortunate. But, like you said, I do recommend the film.
And also with Gal Gadot's, though, I do... like what she does with her character. Like, again, not the greatest written, but there is a good character there. Like
she definitely, I feel like, has improved since as an actor.
Yeah, well, she comes back too. She's in other Fast and Furious films too. So we'll get to see more of that character. It's a lot of fun.
I do think she was great in the film, and it's definitely the first thing I ever have seen her in. I just totally forgot that it was her.
But I guess just to wrap my closing up, I give it 2.5 stars. It's not much better than number 2. I gave number 2 2.5 stars as well. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it is very much so derivative of all the last 3 films. But it's finally like cemented itself, and it's like, okay, we're going to redo everything we just did, but we're going to get it right this time because we know what kind of movie we are. And from here, we will leap off to bigger and better things. And I'm just like, all right, I'm on board. This is the movie that finally I'm on board.
I have no idea if I've seen 5 or not. So we'll see once I turn it on if I've seen the film. But rewatching this makes me excited to continue. I did rather enjoy it. It's just a face, though. Like, they don't do anything super special here, but I would say it's probably my favorite movie about cars. I mean, and Cars exist. And that's a pretty good movie. I got tired of it. I watched it too many times as a kid.
You got tired of it. I get what you did there.
I did.
I like it. I never was a fan of Cars. That was one of the... Because that's Pixar, right?
Well, it's Disney.
Maybe it wasn't. I don't know.
It's Disney. Yeah, I don't know if it's Pixar or not.
Yeah, I can't remember which company did it, but like that was always one that I was just like, I don't know. It came out at the wrong time for me because I was like, again, I don't remember when it came out, but I feel like I was going through puberty or something. And I was just like, nah, stupid.
I was the kid who said, why didn't they do it with planes? And then they did it with planes, and I was too old, and I was like, I'm not gonna go see that movie.
Yeah. You were the person that caused the derivativeness of that franchise.
Well, I mean, like, they already had Pedro, and there's a Peruvian artist who redid Pedro the plane.
Right.
And I would love if they would adopt that, hopefully embracing that guy for his work.
Right.
But that would be really cool. I would really be down for that.
Yeah.
But Fast and Furious, yeah, I enjoyed it. But and I would even say it's a good jumping off point. I could say you could skip those first 3, but I think they do come important. The third one becomes important later. I don't know, maybe.
No, not really.
Not really.
They cover enough of it in the next few movies, because that was another kind of confusing thing about this film was in that after that first scene, because Han is part of that first scene.
Yeah.
And then after that first scene, him and Vin Diesel part ways, and Han's like, "Oh, I might go to Tokyo. Sounds kind of cool over there." And it's like, oh, okay, Tokyo Drift happens after these films. Got it. That's basically all you need to know.
Yeah, but it could be though, at this point, not knowing that it is placed later in the series, it could have been that just that mission that they did, that heist rather, was before he went to Tokyo. That's all that meant. When I first watched this movie, I was like, oh, okay, this part is before them.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Not to confuse, I shouldn't confuse our audience, our potatoes out there. I didn't mean to scramble you, mash you. But I believe the third movie, Tokyo Drift, is placed between the 6th and the 7th. Well, we'll see here soon anyways.
Yeah, we'll get there.
But yeah, I could say those first 3 movies you could skip because this movie I feel like stands alone pretty well.
I agree with that.
It's fun, but no more than a face. That's my closing statement.
Yeah. As a man with OCD who, like, I've mentioned on the podcast before, if I start something, I have to start it from the beginning and I have to see it all the way through. It's really hard for me to start anywhere in the middle. With Fast and the Furious, I'm total agreement with you. You do not need to watch the first 3 films. Go straight to number 4. That's when it starts getting exciting. The first 3 you can watch. Like, they're not so garbage that they're unwatchable. You know, and they do, as you said, set things up for the future of this franchise. But if you've seen them all before, Fast & Furious is just kind of just like, let's marathon it. Let's start at number 4.
Yeah. Though, you know, I do have this weird attachment to Tokyo Drift. It just is so non sequitur, though. It's very weird. Yeah, it's so non sequitur.
Your attachment, that is.
Okay. And the movie is weird itself. It's a weird movie. And maybe that's why I like it. I like weird movies. So, you know, I feel like you could just treat that as its own thing, except for the fact that it ties in later. I feel like that is just such a strange franchise move, but I don't know. Maybe we're rambling.
Yeah, it's really weird franchise move, but we'll see you back here next week with Fast 5.
Fast 5.
They finally do what you and your wife do for this franchise. Actually, I guess that would be Fast in the 5-iest.
Fast in the 5-iest.
But I have been the Green Traveler from Gorsh.
And I am the Faceless Leone, a pile of muck. Safe travels and good night. Green and Faceless on the Couch is a proud production of Fiction Works 19. If you like the show, please show your support by rating and reviewing us on Apple Podcasts. Like, follow, subscribe, wherever you might listen. We also now have a Patreon account. If you feel so inclined to support us in a financial manner, please become a patron by visiting patreon.com/greenandfaceless. You can also find more information about us on our Facebook account or on the Fiction Works 19 Instagram account. Thank you so much for listening.